I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today on this nice, balmy Michigan afternoon. My name is Jim Streeter. I'm the Associate Athletic Director for Media Relations at Eastern Michigan. And everybody here is very excited, and I see we've got a great crowd who also is probably very excited to have a new coach on board. But before we get to that introduction, I'd like to introduce the man that got us started here and got all the interviews done and taken care of in a lot of them in a short period of time. And he will introduce a few special guests. Eastern Michigan Athletic Director, Dr. Derrick Gragg.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. This is another great day in Eastern Michigan history. And a few weeks ago, I promised our student athletes that we would try to find the best possible coach that we could in the land to come in here and help take this program in another direction. And I think we've done just that. Above all else, our mission is to guide, support, and inspire our student athletes in their pursuit of excellence, academically, athletically, and socially. And as many of you know, we've won 14 conference championships here over the past 30 months. And that's a great statement about our student athletes and our coaches. Our men's program has captured the Reese Cup Trophy in the MAC this past year. And with our women's program coming in fifth, we had our best combined finish since 1991. And so please give me a round of applause for that and recognize it. And before I move on, I want to definitely recognize some key individuals. And obviously, one person can't do something like this by himself or herself. I want to recognize the advisory committee. And this group came together in a very short time and helped us screen and interview the candidates for this position. The first being and please hold your applause until the end. The first being Dr. Liz Broughton, who's our faculty athletic representative. She's a former student athlete at the University of Florida herself. Associate Athletic Director Doug Dowdy, Brett Petersmark, who's the president of our EMU E-Gridiron Group, Ron Johnson, former EMU and Steeler great, Dave Smilo, also a former EMU great who played professionally, and then probably, and what I consider to be the two most important members of our committee, the student athletes. And a lot of times when decisions like this get made, the student athletes are left out of the process, so we wanted to make sure that they were included, and that's our starting quarterback, Andy Schmidt, and Mr. Corey Riley, who is graduating from the team. Please give them a round of applause. I also want to publicly thank the Human Resources Department, especially Miss Jackie Wiley, because in these searches she knows that we run 100 miles an hour, and she really, really does what she can to keep up with us, so I appreciate her. I also want to thank Dr. Merritt Norvell, who is with DHR International, and a lot of you know that Dr. Norvell is the former athletic director at Michigan State University, so he knows a lot about selecting coaches. And definitely I have to thank Coach Lloyd Carr. Coach, he's been an invaluable resource, and I'm glad he served in a non-paid capacity because we can't afford him, so I appreciate that. And also, and Coach, you better do this too, I want to thank my wife. Obviously, she's a person who has watched me stay up probably 7 nights in a row trying to negotiate and work this thing out over the last week, so I appreciate her, and she didn't want me to do that, but I did it anyway. And lastly, for now, no effective institution or organization can be great without great leadership, and I think that's what we have here, and I want to recognize some people. And I see Chairman Silic of the Board of Regents is here with us today. And all our regents are very, very supportive. They've been supportive of me since I've been here. They're supportive of the athletic department. 3 in particular did help and screen the candidates as well. That's Regent Roy Wilbanks, who's a longtime supporter, Regent Gary Hawks, and then last but certainly not least, Regent Jim Stapleton, who I've known for over 10 years. He's a close friend, colleague, and supporter, so I appreciate them. And then lastly for now, I definitely have to thank another special person, and that's my boss, Dr. Susan Martin. And she's the president of this great institution. And from the beginning of this process, Dr. Martin was clear that the direction we're taking this football program is my decision. And she stood by that. Since she said it, she stood by her word, and I appreciate that. She's also someone who has worked tirelessly over the past 6 months, and I know this because she emails me at 2 a.m. sometimes, so I know she never sleeps. But it's been a great partnership. I appreciate her support, and I want to welcome her to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Susan Martin.
Well, I do want to reiterate the thanks for the support. Just as Derrick pointed out that I support him as athletic director, I've really enjoyed the full and strong support of all of the Board of Regents, two of whom are here today, Chairman Sidlick and Chairman Stapleton, but many others participated in the process, both in the interviews and providing input and just supporting us moving forward quickly to do a great hire here. I want to thank our student athletes, and I want to thank the Eagle Gridiron Group. The Eagle Gridiron Group, you may not know, is a group of our alumni and supporters that was formed in the past few years and with the help of our former coach, Jeff Janik, and they have contributed their dollars, their time, their love and support to our athletic programs and to our football program. And I just want to acknowledge the Eagle Gridiron Group and all of those key parties that participate in that to show their support for this program, and we look forward to their continued support in the future. I want to thank Lloyd Carr, although I owe him a full tour of the University House. We had our interviews at the University House, and I brewed him a cup of coffee, but I welcome him back for the full tour. And I want to thank everyone that participated in this. A lot of hours were spent. We had an open participatory process from our student athletes that took time during finals week to come and stayed around campus to help us, to many others that provided input, that in the end, Derrick Gragg, our athletic director, made the final decision and recommendation, and I supported that. I'm really pleased that the result of the search, that we had wonderful candidates at the end that we interviewed, and we had many great candidates at the end of the process for Derrick to look at in making his final recommendation and decision. It's an exciting time for us. We've celebrated several Mid-American Championships in the past, and we've been celebrating going and reinvesting in this great 159-year-old university. We just did a groundbreaking on our new science complex, $90 million. We got a capital outlay appropriation to renovate Pray Herald, our largest and oldest classroom building. We're on the move. And we have an exciting news about next fall, that our applications are way up for next fall. Our processors are on mandatory overtime, and we're really looking forward to Eastern moving forward. And this hire is just one of many things that are going on to help Eastern be the great university it has been for 159 years, and to reach out to the citizens of this state and provide them with a great, well-rounded education that includes athletics, our student organizations, forensics, and all of the great activities that make a big university a wonderful place to live and learn. Today is a great day for us, welcoming our new coach, Ron English, and I met his family last night. It's a wonderful family, and they'll be a great asset to us and to our campus and greater community, and I know you'll enjoy getting to know them. They really are a great role model for all of us in terms of excellence. I want to congratulate the search committee and Derrick Gragg. He also emailed me early in the morning, and I do thank his wife for letting him take countless phone calls, not only from me, but many others involved in the search process. And I would ask you to just take a look outside. I was told we can't fill this stadium. We will fill this stadium. And on that note, and I just want to tell you a little secret. One of the first things I found out when I became president is that I got an all-access pass as president, and it's one of my favorite perks. I really enjoy it, and I love football and many of our other sports, and I invite you to come. We have great basketball going on now and many of our other sporting activities, and invite you to join me in the stadium next fall for an exciting season. Thank you.
And now for the man of the hour. And people always ask, what is it that you look for when you're looking for a coach? And obviously, I have great mentors that I've been able to rely on over the years. Joe Castiglione, who's at Oklahoma, is the athletic director. Frank Broyles, who just retired as the athletic director at Arkansas after 50 years of being a coach and an athletic director there, and then Gene Smith, a lot of you know, the former athletic director here who's at Ohio State. But I also have developed my own system, and I call it the 4 Ps in searching for a head coach. And the first one is profile, and you hear me say that all the time. Profile, what are we looking for? Who do we want? And on this level, you'd like to have someone with a great deal of experience who's been involved with some very successful programs, and that's what we have here. Ron has over 15 years of college coaching experience, most of which have been on the highest level of football, and he's become one of the most successful defensive coordinators in football over the past few years and is widely known throughout the country. So that's the profile. Second is the pedigree. And what is this person's background? Where did they play? Where have they been? What are their roots? And Ron, he was a Division I-A player, football player at Cal Berkeley, so it's always good to be able to get a coach who's played on that level because they're directing football players on this level. He also was able to graduate in a very short time there at Cal Berkeley, so he took care of business. And in addition to all the success that he's had on the football field, that's one of the things I'm impressed about him. You know, he has a master's degree, too, and he was able to earn that when he was an assistant coach at Arizona State, which is very difficult to do when you're trying to rise in this business. The third thing is, the third P is performance. What has been done, what makes this person stand out from everyone else, what has been accomplished. And again, Ron's played and coached at some of the most prolific programs in the country. Arizona State, he was there 5 years, going to 3 bowl games with those teams. At the University of Michigan down the street, obviously you know him from there, 5 years there, 5 bowl appearances, 3 Rose Bowls. And he was also named Defensive Coordinator of the Year during his time there. So that is the performance. And then lastly, the most important thing, and that's the last P, is passion. Passion. You have to have a passion to want to work 80, 90, 100 hours a week. And one of the things that I looked at when the advisory committee got done interviewing this man, Andy Schmidt, said he wanted to play for him as soon as he walked out of the room because he could see the passion and the intensity. And so with this man, we have all 4 Ps covered: the profile, the pedigree, the performance, and the passion. And I know when you get to know him, you'll be as excited as I am. And that's why I want to bring him to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, our new football coach, Mr. Ron English.
Thank you. Thank you. First, I'd like to thank my family who's been on this long journey with me, and they've shown a lot of patience because I'm not always the easiest person to deal with. But I'd like to thank my wife, Sophia, my son, Simon, my daughter, Sydney, and my youngest son, Seth, for being very supportive of me through the years. And as we all know in this profession, you can't succeed without support. Next, I'd like to thank Dr. Martin and Dr. Gragg for the confidence they placed in me. I'm aware of many exciting changes on this campus, and not the least of which is her appointment here. So I'm excited to be a part of that and look forward to making our program a part of EMU's continued renaissance. I want to thank the Board of Regents, those that I have met and those that I've not met, and I'd like to name them all. Mr. Clark, Mr. Clack, Mr. Hawks, Mr. Incarnati, Mr. Sidlick, Mr. Wilbanks, Mr. Octi, Francine Parker, and Mr. Jim Stapleton, who has been a confidant of mine before I even knew him. Jim called me out of the blue one year when we had some other things going on, and really gave me some sound advice, so I'd like to thank him for his support. And I'm looking forward to working with all of you. No university can be successful without a strong commitment from the president and the Board of Regents. And when I met with these people, it was evident that they really had a strong passion to see this football program succeed and a strong commitment in the interview process, so I appreciate that. I've been blessed to spend a career working with outstanding coaches and outstanding teachers and people who really cared about me not only as a coach but as a person and wanted to see me grow really regardless of what I chose to do. And I'd like to talk about a few of those people right now. The first one in this town, right now he's having a hard time. But he's the guy who recruited me to the University of California. He is a terrific man by the name of Rod Marinelli. And I will say this about Rod. He may be the most character-driven person that I know that has influenced my career. He is an outstanding human being and one of the best football coaches in this country at any level. And so I want to thank Rod for what he's done. Bruce Snyder was my first head coach that I played for, and I also worked for him as an assistant coach. And I want to thank him for helping me to become a teacher, helping me to understand what it takes to get young men to excel and do things properly. I want to thank Phil Snow, who was my position coach and who was just gives such sound advice all the time. And he's a guy who is thoughtful and who cares about me, and I certainly care about him. Bill Fisk is the guy that many of you would never know, but he actually gave me my first coaching position at Mount San Antonio College. And just the way he ran that program, which can be difficult with junior college players, I really admire that. And he's a Hall of Fame coach in Southern California, and I want to thank him. And then last but not least, this man is like a father to me. The opportunity that he gave me is I would not be here without it. He took me under his wing, and he taught me many things that he did not have to. He shared things with me that he did not have to, and I love him. And he is one of the best human beings in this world, and I've seen him do things the right way under many circumstances, and that would be Lloyd Carr. So I'd ask you all to give him a hand. All of the, I'd like to thank all the high school coaches across this country. I've had success recruiting high schools from Florida to California, and I have to thank them, and it just is, I'm very fortunate in that I've had so many calls from so many coaches across the country that want to help me and get this thing up and running, so I want to thank those guys also. I also want to thank the members of the advisory committee. When I went in to talk to them in terms of the interview process, that was the time I felt like I could really let my hair down a little bit and be myself and coach them a little bit and ask them questions. And, they asked me questions, and I enjoyed that process. And we had a couple of players in there, and it was just impressive, the type of human beings they were and the intelligence they showed. And I'd like to thank them as well as the former players who were on that committee. I'm proud to be back in the state of Michigan. And, you got to remember when my family and I came to the state of Michigan, we had never been east of Arizona. And so we weren't used to the snow or the cold or all that stuff. But what I love about this state is the people. Because the people here are genuine, they're honest, they're tough, they're hardworking. And so I'm really proud to be in the state of Michigan, really proud to be a part of this state. And in many ways, I feel like this is a homecoming for me and my family. We've lived in Washtenaw County for the better part of 6 years now, and it's some of the friendships we made are really like family to us. And some of the people that we've grown close to have stayed close with us, and they've come down to Louisville and visited us this past year, and that really is the mark of true friendship. We look forward to being a part of this community again. And one of the things that we were, when I was here before, is we were a part of this community, and we were proud of that. And we're going to be proud to be a part of this community. Eastern Michigan University is a great institution. And it's been a part of this community for 159 years, which is a long time. And I'm keenly aware, I understand this program hasn't been as successful over the years as some of the other athletic programs at this institution. But we look forward to changing that culture here at EMU and making the football program a source of pride again. And to do that, it's going to take the community's involvement. It's going to take the players going out in the community and becoming a part of that and showing their faces and making people really want to support them. And it will be me as well and our staff. Now, let's just talk a little bit about this program and where we want to take it. And this program, you know, my thing is this. This is what I believe. I believe that you should be your focus should be based on the process and not the result. I think people get caught up in results far too often, and they miss it. And so we want to be process-driven, process-driven. So our core values are this. We're integrity first. That's what we are. We're about doing things the right way and about doing them the right way when nobody's looking and about doing what we say we're going to do. That's what this program will be founded on and based on. We're about trust, and that trust goes two ways. Me being able to trust the players, them being able to trust me, our administration being able to trust me and our players to do the right things and not embarrass this university, our players being able to trust each other. So it's about trust, and we'll work hard to develop that trust. Embrace the process. That's what we want to do. We want to embrace the process every day. That's what it's about. Embrace the process so that practice becomes an event and not an exercise. An event, not an exercise. We want to develop a belief system, and the really good teams and players I've coached, they have a belief system, and they don't care what the score is, and they don't care what happened before, but what happens on the next play. So a belief system, we want to do it one play at a time. And then poise, poise. All great players, all great coaches, all great people show poise, show poise. So we want to do it the right way, and that will be our core values. Our program goals, compete all the time, compete all the time, compete in the classroom to get our degrees on time, graduate every player, compete for the MAC West Championship. You know, when you look at a job like this, at an institution like this that hasn't been successful in a while, all you hear is negative words. All you hear is, no, I don't take that job. All you hear is you can't be successful. That's all you hear. But, you know, there are a few people who are positive. And there are a few people that say you can go in there and get that done. And, you know, I was blessed because one of the players that played for me last year played here. And he said, Coach, you take that job, you go turn that thing around. You've got good players there and you've got good people there. And so I believe that. And that's why I came here. That's why I came here. We want to compete for bowl game appearances. This year, 5 teams in this conference went to bowl games. We want to be one of them, and we want to do it fast. We want to do it fast. And we have a nucleus coming back, particularly on offense, that gives us a chance to do that if we buy in, if we work hard, which we will. We want to develop young men. We want to consistently improve their character on and off the field. And we want to win. We want to win to affect the morale of this community, this university, to affect enrollment, to affect donor dollars and giving. So we want to win, and that's part of it. Our staff, we'll have a staff of intelligent men. I want a staff of intelligent men with impressive pedigrees, impressive backgrounds, that have been around people that I've been around, those type of people, that understand success and human beings and athletes, men who care about and love football players. I want to have coaches who love football players, men who share the same values that this university holds dear, which I just talked about, quite a few of them. And we want to recruit this home state with great passion and integrity. We want to create an environment really of trust and competence. And our players, if we do that, our players will recruit, and we'll get great players here. We'll get great players here, because your best recruiters are the players, not the coaches. I want to thank Dr. Martin again, Dr. Gragg, for all the confidence they've placed in me. I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming today, and I'm sure there's some very exciting things ahead of us, Eastern Michigan football. Oh, we'd like his family to come up, please. We will have Coach English and Dr. Gragg will be available for interviews up here with the media, and everybody else is invited upstairs to the Eagle's Nest for some refreshments, and Coach English will be there once we're done with interviews here. He'll be up to talk to everybody that wants to go up. Thank you very much for coming.